So all of us have our own spaces of travel that we do. I like to travel internally, and some of us also like to travel external to the outside world and figure out what is an interesting space for all of us. So we have
Mhm.
another couple with us. First, initially, I know them as friends. Purva and Vikesh are both friends. We were in the same organization prior, and we have been in touch for quite some time. Also, very similar interest in terms of volunteering and giving back to society as such. So we've kept in touch through that space. I also saw them put a new channel saying we are mapping minimalists and we are taking a 1 year break, going across the world, traveling across the world, and seeing life as is in different parts of the world. So welcome Apurva and Vikesh for this wonderful conversation with you. And I know
Thanks.
you're joining from Malaysia. You're taking time off for this podcast. It means a lot for us. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you very much, Sunil, and really thank you for this opportunity. We are glad to share our experience and then talk through the journey.
Yes, absolutely. Because we see people who we don't know, right? So all people who are seeing on Instagram may not be people I know or people I have met directly who are traveling. So this is the first account of somebody I directly know, and we can always ask your questions. Then whatever is seen on the 30-second or a 1 minute reel, there's actually a lot more to a travel destination, to a travel place than just that. So that's the whole idea to this, and celebrate your journey alongside. Because whatever you put on your channel, I'm sure there are hundreds of other stories that you may not have bandwidth, you may not have time, you may not have that space to put it out there. So this is a very relaxed format to just share from whatever has been your this thing. So how did it start? For you to make this journey right now?
So we've been married now for 5 years, and Vikesh has been traveling since maybe he started to work, and also early stage of traveling maybe started when he was a child with his parents. But when we initially got married, first thing we discussed was that what we want in our future, how it should look like, and what are our interests. And then traveling came as like one of the high priority where we wanted to travel and experience and then understand each other through this journey because every stage is different and every journey is different. How we cope up with each other, it all matters. So this was something that came up as something that we wanted to do at any cost. So we started to think and then plan, I would say, after our marriage.
It started with that, and then how did it finally manifest? This year and prior to that.
So it was like I would say like a lot of years because I mean it's not very easy like when you work in India, correct? Like it's very different. Like it's very common for us to hear always like at least we see that Europeans or US people they have this 3 months, 6 months sabbatical like after their universities or during their work also sometimes it's like no there is a lot of work but it was not very common. So for me it was also like okay, I want to experience something like this. It's like I used to travel, but it was more like for like 3 weeks or 2 weeks, like going inside India or outside India and experiencing. But I always felt that I wanted to do something, and it's like other thing for me is I've always been like traveling on a budget. It's like that for me, like that is very important because I don't like to like I'm very sustainable, so I like to use public transportations, and it's like stuff like that. So for me, it was more like I all like I had my like personal Instagram also where I wanted to share, but I don't know somehow I was not able to do it. But it's like after marriage, it's like when she saw me that okay, no, it's like we can do something like we should do something like travel or and show people that because generally we see Indians, it's like they travel inside India or like they go abroad. It's like they're always with their suitcases and it's like they're always traveling, like staying in hotels, not staying in hostels. So it's like my thing was also to show at least our friends and our family that at least we can do something like this. Another thing is like at least we both have like around 11 years of work experience, like individually. And it's like we are like we have never taken a long break. So it's like it was for us, at least it was like to mentally free ourselves also, because sometimes it's like you come from a vacation and you feel rejuvenized, correct? So it's just more like, at least for me, it was more like I wanted to also figure out like whether I actually want to work like in this field anymore or not. It is like that. Of course, it gives me my bread and butter, but it was more like how do I say? It was like whether I really want to do it or not, because I was at one point of time I was not enjoying my work. It was like that for me. So I wanted to like see the world and at least like see what is happening around, I would say. And it's like in other countries, because we generally stay in India and we see, oh, India is like this, India is like this, but then experiencing how everything is in other countries and what is the situation there. So just to give like a more overall perspective, I would say. So that was like my goal also, why I wanted to start. And it's like, I think it all started during COVID first phase, when we had just got married and it was COVID. And we were like just sitting at home and it's like, what to do, what to do. So then this came in mind that, okay, let's plan something. So I think we started saving from that time. But it's like some or the other problems, it was, we are not able to do it. And it's like, finally we decided that, okay, no, now let's do it.
Yeah, actually, we did not delay it so much, I would say. We wanted to start traveling in the year 2024 year end, but due to the other preparations that was required for this traveling, we somehow could not start in December 2024. So we were always clear that this is when we want to start traveling, and then we want to be financially independent when we want to take break, and we don't want to have that burden that okay, now we have taken this step, now we are in really bad situation, what do we do? So we wanted that good amount of time for ourselves to be financially independent and then really enjoy through this journey. So that is another reason why we took that the time from that planning till here.
So December 23, I think she wanted to say, not 24.
Oh, sorry, yeah, December 23. My bad. We
Yeah.
started. Oh, time moves so fast. We're already in 25.
Time moves fast. Time moves fast. Oh, absolutely true. And now I know who among you is more, will know the anniversary date than among you two. I know Vikesh will know the anniversary date much, much more than Apurva. But otherwise, no. The other question is because it's so like it looks very easy to hear. Say we
Mhm.
will, COVID happens. You are like, oh, I want to travel. Then you start
Mhm.
saving. But I know because I've been on a sabbatical, and I know it's not as easy as it sounds. One is your
Yeah.
Right.
parents and the periphery outside, and secondly, also your own internal stuff because you've been status quo is go to work on a daily basis. It's like constant on a
Mhm.
laptop, almost like 10, 11 years of laptop work. And then suddenly you have to say, oh, I'm not anywhere held by my manager or a stand-up meeting or an appraisal. It's not an easy internal journey to say, okay, we are now switching it on to say, okay, that's the travel is my priority and office, I can relax at this point and switch it off. So how did that happen?
Um, So that's really a complicated question to answer because it takes us back to the working time when we had lot of meetings and we were also growing in our own career path. And I was starting to enjoy the work that I do, and I was being recognized by my company, and my company was supporting in the things that I wanted to do. So it became like my career and the things that I wanted to do was almost on the same scale level. But for Vikesh, it was like different, and I personally thought that this is never ending race. Like career growth will keep happening, and then what we want to do, we should also give time for that. So we can anyways come back to work and then continue this journey. And it's not like I have taken 1 year break, so I will not be able to do the justice to my uh, work that I used to do before. So I personally feel like, these two are like separate things, and you can really balance both hand in hand. And you don't have to put the other thing down or like completely forget about the other thing. And that was somehow easy to convince ourselves over the period of time, not if not like at one shot, to think that okay, now we will take a break from work and then let's go and explore. So I hope I have answered your question.
Absolutely, I can understand that. Yes, Vikesh.
So it was more also like we used to work for like US companies, and it was like, I mean, work timings were a little bit different. And it was like at one point of time, we were like not getting time for ourselves also. That was also very important. It was like because it was like we are having dinner, but it's like we are on our meetings and it's like we are having our dinners because it was like that because of US timing. So it was like we both did not like that culture also. And we really thought that, okay, I think now is a little bit of a correct time to take a break because it was like it was all becoming very hectic with our lifestyle and work, and it's like we're not able to give time for ourselves also. So that was also majorly important, that okay, if let's take a break and let's take some time for ourselves also. Of course we had saved money, and like we were saving from like couple of years previously, and that helped us. But it was more like this also, that we were not getting a lot of time for ourselves. It was like, of course, weekends we used to get always, but it was like more during the weekdays where it's like she used to go to her office, I used to go to my office, and it's like you can understand, like, and living in Bangalore, and it's like it was really little bit getting hectic for us.
Mm.
So that was another reason, I would say, like why we thought that okay, that was like the correct time for us, that okay, let's take a break and like figure out at least like what we want to do. So yeah, that was another reason, I would say.
Absolutely true. I think one is you saved that space, and then it's now or never kind of a scene, right? After maybe a
Mhm.
couple of years, you may not have the time bandwidth. Now you have the Josh. Now you have everything else. So if you can't, if you sit waiting for the right time, I don't think the right time is gonna come.
Yeah,
You'll have to make
yeah.
it happen and take it from there.
Mm.
Hmm. So how did it? Like, what was the first country? How did you look at saying, okay, we'll move out? And how did his overall thing start? Take your time answering that.
Yeah. So at least I would take that question, but I think we our journey has been a lot of ups and downs. So first of all, it's like our Indian passport is very weak. I think everybody knows that, and it's like for us to make that passport strong, what we did first thing was we had to get a US travel visa. So we got a US tourist visa, which helped us, which basically enables you to visit a lot of countries because it's recognized at a lot of places. And what our decision was also like, we were actually doing it for 1 year. So we didn't want to do, to be honest, we didn't want to do somewhere near India, like something like where we are now, Malaysia or Thailand or Vietnam or like Sri Lanka, where we were previously, because it was like it is nearby and we can visit anytime. So we wanted to go somewhere like little bit far. So that is why we selected to go to like Central and South America, because if somebody has to make a 2 week trip from India, it's very difficult because the flight costs itself just to go there are very expensive. So we thought if we are going for 1 year, let's go somewhere where we can't go for a 2 week trip or a 3 week trip because it's expensive to fly there. So that's why we decided that we will go to Central and South America. So I think we started in the USA, and like first thing we went to USA because we both are automotive engineers, and there is a car called as Waymo. So it's like an automated driverless car. So we both wanted to experience it. So that was like one of our first things because we have worked 11 years in this field, ADAS field, majorly both of us, and we had never experienced this. So just to sit in a car and it's like experience it like driverless was like one of the best things I think which has happened to me after I have started working, to be
I
honest.
can see that expression coming from the automotive background. I can,
Uh,
I relate
uh,
to that emotion
yeah,
that we share for a driverless car.
exactly. Exactly. After having so many of your programs written there, put there, and also
Yes.
my entire work was from here, so I had not also traveled there. So for me, I don't know. Saying okay, if I've not got any complaints, that my software is working fantastic.
Yes, true. So for us, that experience, we wanted to take that experience. That was like very high on, I would say, not like bucket list, but we wanted to experience that because that was something like we have worked on and we really wanted to see. And when we actually sat in it, even though it was only for like, I think 20 minutes or so, but it was just amazing. Like we could actually see like how the future will be. It is like that. And which generally we are not able to experience such things, at least currently in India. So it's like that was one of our experience. And then since US is a little bit expensive, we flew to Colombia, and it is like we had lots of ups and downs, as I told you. So we actually wanted to go from Colombia to Brazil, but when we applied for the visas in Colombia for Brazil, they rejected our visa because they told that no, you cannot apply from a foreign country. You need to go back to your home country and apply for a visa. So I mean, we were very disappointed, to be honest, at that point of time, because we had planned the route that we'll go Colombia to Brazil and then south and everything. We had like had an overview of what we wanted to do, but then it's like we had to change our plans immediately because they didn't give us visa. So then we started traveling in Central America. So from Colombia we went to Guatemala, and then Honduras, El Salvador, and then another crazy thing happened. We wanted to go south, but there's a country called as Nicaragua, but they don't allow Indians, it seems.
Oh,
Even though, according to their policies, it's like according to their immigration offices and all, it's written that any Indian, if he holds a US valid visa, you are allowed to enter the country. But surprisingly, we were not allowed because they have some online form. And when I tried to fill the form used to crash when I used to write, like, okay, India is my nation. So then I wrote a mail to them and it didn't help. Then I started watching some YouTube videos that what is this scene. And then I saw a lot of Indians who have traveled there and they have got stuck at the border because they don't allow Indians. So because that is basically, I think recently, I mean, everybody saw that Trump sent a lot of people back from who were illegally gone. So that route basically from Colombia to Panama and to go up, it's like that is known like the donkey route. So there it's like basically whoever is Indian, they always think that they are illegals because first of all,
So because according to the report, they see lot of illegal travelers from India than any tourists from India. So they were trying to avoid all Indian travelers as well because they were not able to differentiate or anything. That does not justify why they are not allowing Indians. At least they could have responded to the mail queries that we have done. So it was like lot of hindrances that we were facing. So according to our plan, we were supposed to be in Chile currently in this month, but because this happened, we rerouted our route to Costa Rica, and in Costa Rica we lost our passport. Somebody stole our bag while we were traveling in the bus, and then we had to make like sudden change of plan, come back to India, and then figure out what we will do. We took some time, and then we thought, okay, now let us just go nearby because we were not very confident after we lost our passport. It was not an easy phase of our journey, I would say. So there has been a lot of thinking and then planning, and also like trial and error that has gone in this travel. One thing what we have learned is planning is required. Reading and knowing and researching is very important. um, Nothing goes according to the plan. So you have to be flexible. You have to be like strong mentally, emotionally to adapt yourself for the change that is coming, and accept and then really enjoy through the journey that universe has planned for you.
yeah, because I mean, because our passports are weak. I think everything is related at the end of the day with our passports. Like when we lost our passports in Costa Rica, it's like somebody stole our bag. And it's like, I mean, just to come back to India was such a big problem because it's like there is no Indian embassy in Costa Rica. It's like that. So we had to courier our documents to a neighboring country, and then it's like they couriered us back, and then there is no airline which wants us to take us back because they are saying like what the Indian embassy has given, it's not a valid travel document. It's not like a passport. They give you like an emergency certificate to go back to India, but no airline used to consider that, okay, no, this is not considered as a valid travel document. Like, so just to come back to India was like so difficult for us. I mean, money is one thing, like we had saved for such type of scenarios also because we knew when you travel for long term anything can happen, but it was more like there was no way to come back to India, and that was the
Because Central America does not have like a direct flight to India. It's pretty far and not many travelers go there. So all the flights that fly from majority of the Central American cities are either through USA, Canada, or European countries. But then all these countries are, not considering Indian passport as like very good passport. So it was a nightmare for us to figure out a path to come back to our home.
So the worst part was like I'm ready to go back to my home, but nobody's allowing me to sit in the flight. It was like that. So that's when it's like you feel like, I mean, at least I felt very, very bad because it was for more like we are also like other travelers like who come from Europe or US, and it's like, but the difference is so much. It's like that because for them it's like they don't even have to apply for visas for even a single country, and for us it's like return ticket is required, and then it's like you need to have your insurances, you need to have your hotel accommodations, and it's like so many documents. Of course it's some Indians who want to move illegally, and it's like I feel like a lot of people who actually want to travel and enjoy traveling, it's like they are somehow getting suffered in all of this. So that is one thing I would say. It was like very disheartening to see, but as she told, it's like we need to look forward. It's like that. I mean, like, okay, our passport is weak. Now we can't do anything. It's like so it's like we need to somehow adapt a way to move around and figure out ways for us. And it's like rather than complaining, because even if you complain, nothing is going to happen. It's like that, correct? So that's what I would say. It has been a lot of ups and downs, and it's like we have roamed. I think we have come across the globe now. Because when we went, I remember our flight was from Delhi to San Francisco, and then our flight was from Central America to Europe and Europe to here. So we almost did one round of the globe.
One full round.
So yeah, so we didn't want to do that, but unfortunately or fortunately, it happened. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I want to add this interesting point. So, when we started to discuss about travel, like back in 2020 during the lockdown time, I remember in our book, we used to note down all the countries that are there and all the countries we want to go. And also, sustainability and then sustainable traveling, slow traveling is our main motto. So, we wanted to avoid taking lot of flights. That is why we initially planned that we will go from India to Central America and then make our way down to South America through the boat or the land route. And then once we finish our journey, then we will fly back to India. In that way, we will reduce lot of carbon
Carbon
emission,
emissions.
the carbon footprint that we would generate by taking as many flights as possible. But unfortunately, that motto was like somehow it was not in our hand. We had to like come back and then again fly from India to the eastern part of the Asia. So, but then in our planning all the time, we see that how less flights can we accommodate in our journey, how much can we depend on the public transportation and the land border crossing. So these are the things that we consider when we usually plan.
Interesting. No, very, very interesting. I think you have a plan in place, then you are also prepared that plans don't go according to plan. And losing your
Yeah.
passport is not an easy space. So it is
Yes.
a very, very intense space. But I'm also curious because travel exposes you to experiences, travel exposes you to people, cultural differentiation, nuances. So, what are some of the favorite experiences that you've had across the last 7+ months?
To answer Sunil for that question, probably we will need a cup of coffee and a lot of time because every place we go, every new people we meet, there is a lot to learn. And in this 7.5 months of journey of us away from home, we have made a lot of friends. We have met people who have been kind to us. Even when we lost our passport, when we told the fellow traveler whom we have met in Central America and made good bond, they've offered us to, like go back and then stay with them, or they were ready to come down to help us because we also lost my wallet in it. So they were like worried that whether we have enough money to survive there or not. So a lot of people have stretched their helping hand when it is needed, and also we have come across a lot of interesting and inspiring people through this journey. I would say something that has hit us very hard and has inspired us to do this more, and then ask a lot of people also to travel more. Is this one story, if you don't mind me sharing
Please,
this?
yeah, the podcast is yours. More stories, the merrier it is. So do tell us, do tell us. I have all the time in the world.
Yeah. So, when we were in Honduras, we met these two interesting women who were in their late 60s, and they were backpacking. So, we met them in a stay in one of the cities. And then they just came to us asking, like, are you also taking the taxi from here to the ferry point? We are also taking the taxi. Do you mind tagging along? And then we were like happy to join them, and then we went with them, and through this journey they told where they are going and then where all they have traveled in Honduras. And they said that they are like traveling Central America, specifically Guatemala, Honduras and El Salvador for about 4 weeks or like 6 weeks time. And then it was nice meeting them, and then we parted our ways, saying it was nice meeting you. But then, fortunately, we came back after that destination to a jungle stay where they had also booked. And it was so nice. It was them who recognized that, oh, we meet here again. And we were so happy to meet them. They are travelers from one of them were from Guatemala, and the other one was from Australia. Sorry, Austria. Uh, and then their names are Ursula. Both of their names are Ursula. So we call them as Austria Ursula and then Guatemala Ursula. So what is interesting when we were talking with them was they have been traveling since 1980s, 1970s, but then they're not doing like a complete traveling or like earning from traveling. Their purpose was not that.
Mhm.
Their only purpose was they work at their job, they take break. Like one of them was working in Swiss Alps, so she used to like work and then get her summer break and then travel during their summer break. And the stories that they have shared, it was I don't think we've even seen that in any movies. They told that they used to travel with the checkbooks because the currency exchange was not easy as these days. And then they did not have mobile phones, they did not have Google Maps. So every city they visited, they used to buy the local maps, and then they used to mark, okay, this is the place I have to go here, I have to go from here to here. And there were not lot of travel agencies back in those days where they could just pay them and then they would take them along. So and one interesting story from them, what I heard was the Guatemala Ursula. She said that we used to go to the airport and ask that I want to go to so and so country. When can I fly? How can I fly? And they used to say, you come on this day. There will be a flight. You can buy the ticket and you can fly. So they used to go buy the ticket and then travel to so and so country. Sometimes she said that she was making her way down to the South America, and there was a band which was going to perform in one of the cities in South America. So she told that she didn't know the language then. She tagged along with them. She would help them in the stuff that they needed some support with. And she would travel and then come back and then like travel along with them to the various cities in South America. So when we heard that, we were like, oh my God, it is like you have that one urge to experience the world, one urge to meet people, to learn cultures, and you don't need specific details. If you want it, you will figure it out. And it is not like hunky dory every story is, but then you have to have that courage to face whatever comes, and then be strong enough to take the downs that life is going to teach you. It was amazing. Their story was truly eye opener for us to take our parents out as well, because they've not seen much. So we definitely want to like take our parents and then show them how the world is. And then they being in their late 60s, they used to like walk in a day 12-15 kilometers when they were exploring the city. We were lagging behind when they were walking, and they used to walk so fast, and they're like, Hey, come on, we're almost there. If you're not reaching on time, sun is going to be sharp above your head. You cannot swim in the lake. It's not fun. We were like, oh my god, so much energy they have got in at this age also. And Ursula from Guatemala, she invited us to her home, and we met her husband and her kids. And then one of her kid is a racer. Like you might have heard this world's toughest race, wherein they have like 5 to 7 days of different activities, and they pass through
Correct, correct. Got,
the river, and then trail run and bicycling, rowing, everything. So it was very nice meeting him. And we also met her husband, who is mad about cars. He has cars from 1950s, 1960s, and he says, this is my project. In my free time, I take my time with the car. I just hear the sound, I repair it. And he also shared that he has traveled the entire USA in one of 1954 car. So all those stories were like, oh my God.
So basically, what he does is, I mean, I think, I mean, he didn't tell his age, but he was 75 plus. And what he used to do is, so generally in the entire Central America, they get all the second-hand vehicles from the US. So all the second-hand school buses, like all the second-hand cars and all, they come to Guatemala at a very cheap price, and it's like the school buses of US who are like 50 years old, 60, they are used as normal public transportation buses in Guatemala. It's like they repair a little bit and they start using it. So what he does is he buys old cars, like there'll be a Volkswagen car from like 1960s or 1970s, which is like not in running condition. It is like you would have seen that Volkswagen van. So he has a Volkswagen van. So what he does is he will buy those vans in like $10,000 or something like that, and then he will want to repair it. It's like that he'll completely repair. So it was like to see that passion at that age. It's like that. And he was telling like just before 5 days he bought another car, and it's like his entire garage was like just full of cars. It was like, and all old cars, nothing like fancy new cars, nothing like that. All old cars of 1960s, 70s, 80s. It's like that. So it was so good to see like somebody having so much passion. It's like that in doing what they want to do. It's like he was not doing it for money. He was not doing it for him. Just that he wanted to learn at that age. It was like at the age of 75. So for us, it was always like, I mean, I am always a big believer of that, that there is no age of learning. I always feel like when my parents also tell me sometimes, it's like, hey, no, what will we do by learning this at this age? I told there is no age of learning. Don't, I mean, I am a big believer of always of that. And then when I saw it in real life, it was like very eye opening for me. It's like, I still like can feel it like what he was, and then he was explaining it because he was using all Bosch products. So he was explaining us, and it's like it was so good to see, like just him working on stuff like that. And then he started one vehicle, and he showed us also. So it was like so cool, like I would say. And for them, like they were very kind, like just for them to just invite like just fellow travelers just to invite to their house. And it's like they prepared lunch, they prepared like authentic Guatemalan food for us. It's like I being a vegetarian, it's like they generally don't eat much veg, like they cooked separate vegetarian for me. So it was like, I mean, I don't think so. I have ever done it being in India to a fellow traveler. So for me, all these experiences are like very eye opening, I would say, for us that, okay, just be kind, and it's like, just be helpful to people. It's like, you don't know when it will turn around. It's like that, everything, correct? So for us, I would say that one experience is like one of the biggest highlights. Of course, we visited a lot of places, and it's like those are also highlights, but it's like I feel meeting people and learning from them, because when we are traveling, especially, we meet mostly a lot of German travelers, because Germans travel all around the world. I think we were in Central America, we only used to meet Germans. We are here, we are still meeting only Germans. So because they take university breaks every semester, after every semester they are traveling. So I mean, and eventually, like I met so many people like who are working in BMW now currently, who are working. So it was good to know like what is currently happening actually in Germany inside the automotive sector. It's like that, because sometimes you talk to your colleagues and it's like everything they say, ah, okay, it's good or it's bad, or it's like, but I feel that because somebody, when he doesn't know you, I feel they are more open about what they are doing, and it's like what they see as the future. So for us, it's like meeting such and having such experiences also was, I would say, like very nice, like where we can actually talk to people about our profession and actually see what is actually happening in other countries, and it's like how they are dealing and what is the future they see for themselves. So yeah, I would say that was also one of the
Fantastic, man.
experiences
Yeah.
for me.
The major learning from this 8 months is that to appreciate every small creatures and what nature offers. So definitely Ursula's taught us how to appreciate nature, how to, see the life as it is. Whenever we see a forest, a old tree, or a beautiful flower, I don't think we used to appreciate it as much as we do now. They have showed us that you can notice these small details. Small details can also be make a big difference.
What's the story around those small details? Like, what did they say? What did they do?
So there were like some butterflies who were dead on the road after their life cycle had ended. So they used to take those butterfly and then preserve as like a memory of life that, uh, that this beautiful butterfly does not have to go like waste. It deserves what it deserves, and is to bring it back at home and then keep it in a nice glass and preserve it. So, and the small flowers that you see on the way, they used to appreciate the color that it has got and how it has bloomed, how it is helping the ecosystem around to flourish. So I think we had missed these tiny details being in Bangalore, and it was definitely an eye opener to have had some walks with them.
Interesting. So now that you mentioned Bangalore, I have two questions. One is when you eventually passport lost and you came back, what was the first thing you ate? And that's the first question. And secondly, uh, did you miss the traffic? So two interesting questions.
I would answer the second question first. No, we did not miss the traffic. I think one thing, I mean, because now like we are in Kuala Lumpur currently, I mean, and it's I think as big as Bangalore. But when I see here, I feel, to be honest, I feel this is what Bangalore should have been. It's like that. They have way more cars than I think what Bangalore has. But I think the way everything is organized here and the way everything is here, I feel this is what Bangalore should have been. So at least traffic, I don't think so we missed at all. But the first thing we ate is because we lost our passport. So the only option for us to was to fly to Mumbai. So as soon as we landed Mumbai, and it is like we had a card where we could use launch, and we are thinking, okay, Mumbai, maybe we will get poha or aloo paratha or something like that. But as soon as we went in, luckily, I don't. Surprisingly, it was like a vegetarian launch. I don't know. We were so tired because we are almost 3 days at least in the airports only. Like from the time we left Costa Rica till we landed India, it was 3 full days. We were inside flights or inside airport only. So it was like, and there it's very difficult to find Indian food. So as soon as we entered, and it was like idli, dosa, upma, vermicelli, and we were like so happy. It was like
Yeah,
that.
we took as little as possible so that we will get to savor all the dishes. So idli, dosa, and then poha, upma, uh, and lot of chutney, sambar, vade. We stuffed all that, and then we had.
And also, like when we were in Central and South America, correct? Like there, they don't use a lot of powders. So it was like, and it was like almost 3.5 months. We have not had, because there are no Indian restaurants like how Europe or Malaysia or like Asian countries have Indian restaurants. There are not Indian restaurants at all because Indian tourists don't visit at all. So they don't have that cuisine only. So we had like not forgotten the taste, but maybe after 3.5 months, like our stomachs change. It is like that. And it's like that was the first time when I felt like when we came back and then we were eating, like even the sambar was not spicy, but we are feeling, oh, it's so spicy or something like that. So
Yeah.
it was like
We were like wondering, did this Central America make us white?
it was like that. So yeah, that experience. But I think we had idli dosa as soon as we landed to India, but it was not in Bangalore. We were in Mumbai. And I think when we landed to Bangalore also, I think we had idli only. Yeah.
Fascinating. But generally, what did you eat? Like, how's that entire food culture across South America?
So it's mostly like if you are a vegetarian, I would say you would have to eat a lot of rice and beans. And beans, I mean like the rajma, because
Mhm.
that's like the main dish there. So if you go to any Mexican restaurant also, like in Bangalore, correct? Like they give beans. Like if you eat tacos, they will give it with beans. Of course, in India, they mix it with paneer and stuff. But there it's no paneer, nothing. So it's only rice and beans. So I am a vegetarian. So for me, I eat egg. So it was mostly like rice, beans, and egg. But I think for non-vegetarians, I think it's heaven. I think you get
Yeah.
everything.
I'm a non-vegetarian, so I used to get like one proper meat, which is maybe chicken or fish, and a small bowl of rice. Again, beans, eggs, and some vegetables, and salad. Yeah, and there were like three major food that we were like consuming throughout our Central America journey. One is this rice, meat, and beans, that plate, and the other one is called papusa. Papusa is the national dish of El Salvador, which is like paratha, but then this beans stuffed in it, like the rajma stuffed in it, and
Interesting.
cheese and various flavor. So we used to have pupusas for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for as long as we could. And the other thing was tacos. Tacos was something that we were relying on. But then out there, we used to get kitchen in all of the stays that we used to book. So we were able to like cook little bit, but since we were not getting Indian spices and all, we were not able to really cook like Indian dishes. But mostly we used to do like pasta, rice, and maybe some lentils, whatever we get with how much ever ingredients is available. So yeah, food was not our high priority, and we used to eat whatever was available.
Interesting, interesting. So, what's the funniest incident you remember from all those travels?
Yes. Yeah, maybe when we were like trekking back in near Lake Atitlan, there was a small kid. He was hardly like 16, 17 years old. He was our trek lead and he was a localite. Oh, he had taken us to a peak for sunrise. And after, so basically, wherever you go, you have to go with guide. You might see a lot of hidden gems and other things being promoted in Instagram, but it is not safe to go anywhere alone apart from places like Eiffel Tower or maybe um,
Basically, Central America is not so safe as in like I
yeah.
mean if you are going somewhere where it like especially for sunrise or where it will be like dark before you start or it's like whether it's dark after, so it's generally recommended that like you go with a guide or you go with somebody
Yeah,
whom you
all
know.
of the tours are sold with a guide only. So we used to go with guide, and then this guide was very interesting because he was like a small kid, and he said that after reaching the peak, just sun was coming up, and he told, "No, no, that I know another place that is very nice, and you have to really come there." And then we started to walk with him among the bushes, and then among the all the tricky path that we had, and then he takes us to a peak and then he says that you have to climb this, you get a nice view at the top, and it is maybe like 15-20 feet, a single rock.
It's like a single
Yeah,
rock.
single rock, and there is no support to climb up because he is a localite. He knows how to climb up. He just walks like as if we walk on the road, and then he climbs up. He ties a rope and then he puts it down and he says that climb up. And we were like, no, this is too scary for us. If in case we hurt ourselves, then it becomes too difficult even to go down. Forget about getting any help. So we told that we would not do. But then there were like two other travelers from some European country, and then they managed to climb up and they sat there. And we were like, okay, the worst part is done. We are all safe in one piece. So let us go back. And he says that this there is a shortcut. Let's go from here. And then we start walking, and it is literally like through forest and tea estates. There is no way to climb down there. It's like you fall, you roll, and you will end in the bottom. That's how it was. He's like, no, this is so easy. This is so easy in Spanish. And then he tells us to take the support from the tea leaves that are planted there. And then we hold it one after the other. And then we go like, like ice skating. That it was so
So it is
funny.
basically, I think you would have seen coffee plantations in Chikmagalur, correct? Like they are not dense, but it's like they have little bit of gap, but there is no space for you to walk. So what? And it is too steep, and it was like coffee plantations, and it was like this steep. So basically, it's like we are walking, we are like skating, but we are like using the, I would say, how do I say, like using the coffees as like our support. And it's like just now and it's like we are half an hour just doing this, and we are still not reaching the bottom. And it was like it was not scary, but then
Many times we used to fall, and one
yes.
person used to fall, and they used to push the other person. It was never ending fall story on
Yeah.
that trip. It was quite funny. We were like, how much more? He used to say 5 minutes more, 5 minutes more. Every time you ask 5 minutes more. But after like around 1.5 hour of trek down, we reached the city.
You are counting how many more 5 minutes, how many more 5 minutes. Oh damn,
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think
and the thing is like how he was speaking and how he was correct. It was like all very. I feel like they were. I mean, generally in Central America, it's like people are so casual. It's like that. It's like, hey, this is nothing. Just do it. It's like that for them, and it was like. So it was like he was very funny, and it's like the way he was telling us, and it was like with us there were there were two girls who were from France, and they were continuously keeping on falling, and we were also falling, and we were like, okay, let us reach down. It was like that at one point of
He
time.
would also climb up our avocado tree and
Yeah.
pluck the avocado tree and then explain that this is Haas avocado. But then it was not Haas. Simply he used to speak anything. And then he used to say, no problem, this is all okay, my friends, my friends. But then he had no clue whose property it was.
And basically, we were trespassing actually because it was like somebody's coffee estate, and it was like we were basically trespassing. And he always used to say, "No, no, don't worry, it's my friend's estate. It's my friend's estate." But nobody knows it's like that, and especially like when you are in a foreign country, and if you're caught trespassing and all,
And
it's
you
like we
don't
don't.
know the language.
Yeah.
It was quite scary and funny.
that is crazy indeed. And that's an interesting part, right? Because you have planned something, the way it executes, the way things change in a trip, you never know what is going to happen. It is like I think if it is a chilled out place, typically even when we travel in India, in possibly even in Karnataka, the 5 minutes we are done is not never 5 minutes. So we were on a so me and Mithun and a few others, I think you Apurva also knows Mithun. So we were on a trip. We were on one of those places where we were told, "Oh, this 5 minutes, just there drive." So we drove on a space where the road was being constructed again. So
Hmm.
there's only one particular car, and that's our car going on a 10-kilometer space. Everybody you meet who comes on a two-wheeler says, "Ah, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. That's it." The 5 minutes took us 90 plus minutes of traveling in one place. The entire road was being dug by a JCB, and the
Hmm.
JCB had stopped. So we literally had to play minesweeper with three or four JCBs and get to one point. And after we exited and got to at least some level of Kacha road, all of us got down and be like, we had a high five saying, "Oh, now this is done." And we let the steering go, right? Because that's the only car
Hmm.
there. The road is being constructed, and no never goes beyond first gear. So at 5 or 6 kilometers per hour, we went through an entire 10-kilometer stretch. So it was one of the most interesting experiences there was, and travel always is fun.
Yeah.
And generally, you travel as in like only you two travel, or it's like a 10-15 member or multiple people
Hmm.
traveling.
No, we are generally two of us traveling. But sometimes it's like you meet people and like if you're traveling in the same direction. But I think it has not happened a lot with us.
Yeah. Also, you happen to meet the same
Yeah.
person in the path that you are going. So we happen to meet the same travelers in next place or in some hostel or somewhere outside on the trek. So we say that, oh yeah, I know this place. I'm going. Do you want to join? And maybe like three or four max. That's how we go. And usually, what you are asking, I think it is the travel agencies who takes people from one place to other place. We don't go with the travel agencies, but wherever we go for any of the activities that we want to do, be it trekking or boating or any like city tour, there will be somebody local who will sell the things like the tour to you. So we prefer doing it with the localites rather than doing it with the travel agencies who have come from somewhere and then settled down here. Yeah, that's how we go with the local guides on our expeditions.
Interesting, interesting. And because you also say, mapping minimalist. So how's
Mhm.
this minimalism coming into your journeys?
So basically, I think minimalism comes from the fact that we don't have like fancy dresses. It's like the same thing we have. They have like I think 3 or 4 t-shirts. That's all we carry. So we are just having one backpack each. And like now we carry our laptop. So we have like a small bag for our laptop and like our electronics.
Yeah, which
And
acts like a day pack as well whenever we go on a
yeah,
day trip or something. But then throughout this 1 year journey, we are just living out from one bag. And that's not the reason for having it as a minimalist. Back in our home as well, we believe in minimalistic lifestyle. We believe that you don't need to have lot of things and live like a clutter free life, which will open up your view. So that is why we wanted to have something related to minimalism, because every time we see around everybody, if suppose they're going on any trip or something, they will do shopping, and they will do shopping every time they want to go on a trip. But then it's like you just need what you wear in your regular days, even on the trip, because everybody's experience is different, of course, and the way one finds happiness is different. But we want to promote travel as experience more uh, around minimalism rather than the luxury kind of travel. So we felt this is very much close to what we want to do in this trip and what we do back at our home as well. And mapping comes from the thought that we try to go from one place to other place. That's why, like, a traveler who is minimalistic, so the name mapping minimalist.
Interesting. And so what are some of the challenges that you've had in this entire planning, thinking, executing, being there?
yeah, so the first thing, again, come back to Indian passports. It's like we need to plan way ahead. I mean, for us, it's not like easy. Like because when you speak with a lot of travelers, you get to like when any European enters any country, they don't ask them for a return ticket, or they don't ask them for like an onward ticket. They don't ask them for accommodations. But for Indian passports, it's not the same anywhere. So you need to at least have your onward ticket. So when we came to Malaysia, also, I think nobody comes to Malaysia for 30 days. So when we told her, the immigration officer, 30 days, she was shocked. She didn't believe us. She's like, no, no, 30 days. What will you do in Malaysia? She's like, the your guys are giving me 30 days. I'm staying for 30 days. And then she's like, no, no, you need to show me your onward ticket. Then I showed her my onward ticket. Then also it was like she saw it and she was like, okay, she stamped it. But for her, it was like so shocking because when we were also like coming here, it's like generally nobody comes to Malaysia for 30 days because people from India, it's like they want to go to, okay, Kuala Lumpur, we want to see the Twin Towers, we'll go to some another beach place and that's all it's done. But it's like for us, it's like it's very different. It's like we travel to small towns just to experience like what is going on in Malaysia because it's like when you see Malaysia from that perspective, it's like everything is a lot more different. It's like that. I mean, we don't want to see a city just like to tag it, huh? Okay, we have visited Malaysia or something like that. For us, it's more about like knowing the place. It's like that, like what is happening here, like to meet local people and like what is currently going on. Because when you visit as a tourist, no, you like all countries. It's like, oh, Malaysia is so nice, everything is so well developed, this, that, and all. But when you start speaking with locals, you realize what are the local problems here. It is like that. So for us, we want to acknowledge more of that and understand actually what is happening around the world also. Like here, we currently in Malaysia, if we speak, it's like there is a lot of Chinese influence, and it's like there are a lot of things from China. So it's like I feel like since China is developing so fast, it's like I feel like yes, people are reaping benefits of it. It is like that when you speak with a lot of locals and when you visit the markets also, it's like so much influence of like all the Chinese products. There is so much of Chinese cuisine available. And for us, it was so shocking that in supermarkets, it's like there are 25% to 30% products are from Australia. So
Hmm.
because in Indian markets we never see much products from Australia, but it's like here there are so many products from Australia. So it's like some things like these are all small things, but then it's like, oh, you realize, oh, maybe Australia exports a lot of stuff. It's like that. So it's like which we generally don't notice in India. So for us, it's like whenever we come to like a big city, at least we try to go to supermarkets, we try to go to like malls, and just to see what is happening here. It is like that because we know
How a localite is seeing the city through the local eyes is what we try to do. And coming back to the difficulties, it's always this: come to a city and you have to mark exit. But then it happens that maybe you have seen enough and you don't want to see the similar city again and you want to go to a different city. But because we have to already book our return ticket or onward ticket to the next country, it becomes really difficult for us to be flexible in our plan with the flow. And we always have to plan ahead, get the visas, book the tickets, while other travelers from USA or maybe any other strong passport holders, for them it's pretty easy. It's just booking and then seeing around. For us, it is like a complete planning that we'll have to do. And also sometimes when we apply for visa, we have to show our 6 months bank statement and invitation letters and no objection certificates. There are a lot of documentation that we have to do. So along with the full time travel, when you have to do all these things, it really becomes hectic sometimes.
and since we are not working also now, correct, like there is a lot of questions in them. Oh, these people are not working, so they might come and look for jobs here because Indians are known for that. So that is also one of the biggest challenges what we face. Like, and for us, when at least here it's okay because here a lot of Indian travelers come. But when we were in Central America, they really used to view us like they really used to see our passports, and it's like, what is this? It's like they have never seen an Indian passport. They literally used to behave like that. So it was more like, okay, why are you guys here? It was that expression on their face. It's like that why are you guys here? It was like that because they only see mostly European or US, and it's like they never see Indian travelers. It's like at a lot of hostels, it's like they used to take photos and they're like, I think you are the first Indian travelers who have come here, who have visited. So it was like more like we felt like at that time I even felt like why don't more Indian travelers backpack? It's like that. I know a lot of people are doing now currently in India, but it's like I mean India, but go outside also. Like try to like even a couple also. Like as a couple, we sometimes stay in hostel because we have a budget, and it's like some people think that traveling is very expensive, but it is actually, to be honest, it is not. It's like that we have done so much travel now in the last 7 months and previously also that if you want to do it on a budget, it's about what experience you want. If you want to stay in a five-star hotel, you need to spend money. It's like that. But if you want to see a city, you want to experience another country, that's a completely different thing. So when some people tell that, oh no, it is this expensive or it is this expensive, I mean, I really don't buy into it. It about what experience you want from your travel. It's like that. Sometimes it's okay. Like sometimes we also feel that, oh no, now we are so tired, let's go to a good hotel and like stay for 3 4 days, but that's completely okay. But I mean, out of your 15 days of vacation, you cannot stay all 15 days in five-star hotels. And it's like, I mean, because I know a lot of people from India, it's like they take loans to go on a vacation or to go on a honeymoon or something like that. And I feel like that is so not worth it. It is like that. I mean, why are you spoiling your financial situation because of all those things? So yeah, I think the Central America part, it's like where people used to view us was not more like a negative experience. It just used to make us like, I mean, our treatment, the way they used to treat us was a little bit different. But I think that was one advantage also because of our skin. It was like because Central America is little bit our skin, so we used to sometimes get all these local benefits also. Like sometimes it's like they just immediately they think that we can speak Spanish and they used to speak Spanish with us. It was like that, and sometimes we used to get like some discounts on some souvenirs or something if we are buying from a market, which the Europeans don't get because they have this fair skin. So, and even here it is like that because I can speak Tamil because I studied, and it's like in Malaysia and even in Sri Lanka, it was like that. Because we felt like, okay, things are a little bit cheaper for us because of our, at least some advantage we have finally of our skin color. It was like that. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it was just wherever we have traveled, we feel like there are some advantages.
Mm-hmm. And in terms of possibly two questions. One, I think I'll go with this one first. So, because you also mentioned safety, you also mentioned, like you possibly are the first Indians in some of those places. And you also brought up, the color of the skin. So generally, racism was part of any of these conversations, or it was not so evident or not at all there.
No, no, no. We did not face any racism as such. One time we really felt it was racism was in El Salvador, where we had booked the accommodation. But after we reached the accommodation, she said that I did not reserve the room for you. I have given it to someone else. I cannot give you. Then we asked, like, we have made the reservation on the app. We can see that this is booked and we can check in at this time. Then she told, no, no, no. For Indians, I don't give the room. I don't block the room for Indians because they don't show up. Then we felt, what is this? Just because some people have not showed up to the hotel, you cannot generalize that no Indians will show up and then you will not give the rooms to Indians. But in the app, we are able to book, right? This is not okay. Then she was like, she calmed us down. We really felt like very bad that she said that we don't take Indians booking because they don't show up. Then we started to little get heated up, and then she calmed us down and she got a dairy and then she showed. These are the number of not just Indians. There were like other Venezuelan people from Pakistan, Indonesia, who were using the donkey route and just to escape the checking and stuff, they had simply booked because in Central America we don't have to pre pay for the booking. Once we visit there we'll have to give everything was in cash. So people just block and they don't go. Just for the records, they will show that we have made this reservation. So she showed a lot of pages wherein people have made reservation for 7 days, 10 days, and they have not showed up. So we felt bad, although she had proof that people had not showed up. That's why she did not take reservation. There could have been like a better way of communicating and asking. But if we put ourselves in her point of view, we felt okay, it was not like that cruel of her because she, at the end of the day, she offered us a stay for her mistake that happened. So we let that go. Never ever we felt there was
But it
any.
was more like, I think it's more, I mean, it's racism only, but it's not like because of our color. I think it's because of the origin that we are from India. It was never because of, I think it never because of color, because our color and their color is same. So we never felt because of color there was ever a racism, but it was more always like you are from India. So they always used to think, okay, these people want to go illegally to the US. It was more like because there, whoever Indians come, they are all mostly people who want to go illegally to US or Canada. It's like that. So that's where I think, yeah, I mean, you can call it racism only, but
But we don't have that marked in our heart that, oh, this thing happened with us. We moved on pretty quick after she offered us a stay after all the discussion. So yeah, I don't think we had to deal with racism.
but we were very angry to be honest. Like we were like, I was really pissed. I was like, no, because maybe it was the first time somebody told me like that. That because when somebody tells you for the first time, no, you are an Indian, we cannot give you room. I was like, no, no. So maybe that was the anger. But then it was like I was still angry. But then in the evening she came, then she showed her notebook, and then I was like, okay, it makes some sense at least.
Yeah.
I think you will find all sorts of interesting conversations, interesting aspects of this space, and possibly because for me this is very strongly news that so many people travel from here, go via the
Mm.
donkey route and get to US illegally.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what the hell is there in the US that possibly we don't have, except possibly for money power. So
Trust me,
I
nothing.
don't know. Hmm?
Trust us, we have gone there and I mean, nothing to be honest, of course, except the money power they have. And yeah, I think
Definitely not the work-life balance, I would say.
but it's the quality of education. But I think people who go illegally, they are just going there because I mean, it doesn't make sense because when that happened to us, no, then we started reading stories of people, and then it's like, okay, people are selling their lands of 40 lakhs, 50 lakhs in India and want to go illegally. I'm like, that is really stupid now. I mean, you cannot sell your 40 lakh rupees and just to go illegally when you don't even know that you will reach i- US or not. And it's like when they go there, also, they cannot do any work. They have to do all this illegal work of cleaning or cooking or something like that because you cannot register yourself anywhere. It is like that, and then it's like you don't get paid so much for that kind of job. It's like that. So
And also, we saw some people who were traveling illegally,
yeah,
mostly. So we were waiting in a petrol station in the supermarket in the petrol station for our bus. It was early in the morning, 4:30. So we just sat there around 12 o'clock. Our other bus reached. So from 12 to 4 o'clock, we were waiting there. So we saw a lot of people coming in with the kids, and they had got some blanket. They just put it on the road. They made their kids sleep there. They used the restroom in there. They bought some food. And then one guy came, and then he started to talk to us. And then he was telling that that family is from Venezuela, and they were in Mexico. Now they are going back to Venezuela, and it takes like days together before they reach Venezuela. They have to go through the forest. They have to take ferry. They have to walk some path, and all those many days they just eat whatever they get. They don't shower mostly because there is no option. And there are like kids, small kids, and then elderly people. They they live 15, 30 days of miserable life for a normal person, if I look at them, just so that they can go to some other country and make their living. I don't know why it is such a big deal in some countries to just go to USA. Although they can earn bread and butter in their country, it really surprises us whenever we encountered such things. But it was really sad to see the kids just adapting and then living on the road, just eating whatever they want. And also, it's not like a normal bus in which they travel. Sometimes it's a truck, and
it's
they
like containers basically. It's
yeah.
like they go from containers to containers, and it's like it takes them around like 14 days if they have to go back to Venezuela, and everything is illegal. I mean, they don't have official stamps, they don't have anything. So, I mean, we didn't see Indians doing it, but like we saw Venezuelans doing it, and we met a lot of Venezuelans doing it because their country is also a little bit in a turmoil now. And so like it feels sad, like to see that. I mean, more than anything, it was like, why are people doing it? It was like sometimes you see them and you get scared because they look like basically homeless people, and it's like you get scared, but then it's like after some time when they speak with you, it's like even though we can't speak their language, but it's like through just emotions, and it's like it feels so bad for us that why are people doing this? Like when
Mm.
we were in like San Francisco also, and it's like the situation there of homeless people, and it's like the tech capital of the world, and it's like when you see people on road, and it's like people getting addicted to fentanyl drugs. It's absolutely crazy. Like you can't walk on streets there. It's like that because they keep trying to like speak with you, they keep trying to
Ask
like
money.
ask money and this and that, and everybody is living off roads, and it's like the government not doing anything for that. I mean, in such a developed country, and it's like, or maybe the government is sponsoring, or we don't know what is happening in other countries, but like it felt it felt sad more than anything. First few days you get scared after seeing that because like, oh, I don't want to talk with them. But then it's like after some time it was really like sad to see them because they don't have any, I would say, they are not in their hosh or something like that. They are not in their senses at all because they are always high. It's like
Yeah,
that.
there were people who were old. There were like women who were even pregnant, and then some people, some of the people whom we met who have actually interviewed them. They were saying that they don't know when and how they got pregnant, and sometimes the overdose. It's like they are done. They're dead. They don't know what is right, what is wrong. They just take the drug, and we hear in San Francisco all the time this ambulance passing through. It's all because of the
Somebody would
overdose would have died, and then they're just cleaning up the city, that area. So it was very sad to witness all that.
So there's another part, there's another entire side of a space or a country that we don't get to see on all the
Yeah.
Yeah.
traditional platforms saying, hey, this is what
Mm.
the overall country is, right? So,
Mm.
and I think that also because I've had friends in the US, they also tell me saying it's not as easy as we make it
Yeah.
look it to be, right? And it's a difference being a part of somebody who's come for 2 weeks, 1 week, or maybe a month or so to actually
Mm.
living there, and that's a constant day on day affair. It's a very
Mm.
different ball game. So I think I
Yeah.
also had another question, two more questions on the same track, right? So you brought up the space of saying, how people come up to you and talk to you, and so they are people at the end of the day. In the last 7 months of travel, what has changed with your trust radar, trust ecosystem?
Sorry, did not get your
Like
question.
trust ecosystem. Like
So how do
how
you
do you?
trust people? What do you like? How do you know? Okay, stay away from this person looks like a scam guy or scam person. How has it
I
changed? How do you read people?
I think the first thing is I mean, it's not so easy because every country is very different. It's not like we can generalize, okay, entire this thing is like that, this thing is like that. But that's an interesting question.
Yeah, so far it has not occurred to
Yeah,
us
nobody
that
has scammed us to be honest till now.
by the look you feel that, oh, this person could be trusted or this person could not be trusted. Always, no matter what vibe the other person gives, you have to be careful with your
Yeah.
belongings, with yourself. And initially when we started the journey, I was asking Vikesh, what if somebody points out a knife to us and then want to rob us? Do Should I just scream or like try to shoo him away or like throw certain things and all? Then he told me one thing. He's like, first, your life is important. Rest of the things you can figure out. If he's asking only money or wallet and you cannot get any help around, just give it off whatever he's asking, because we don't belong to that land. We cannot do such stupid things and then put our life at risk. So just give off whatever is there, and then we will see what we have to do. That's the suggestion that he gave me. And afterwards, whomever we met, we talk everything. But it's not like we trust them 100% that we leave our belongings under their supervision, or we just try to stay away from them, or like try to be like extra conscious. We just try to be in our limits and take care of our belongings and ourselves, because we are two of us. It's easy for us to travel.
It's more like people will come and haggle you. I mean, like how it is in India also, correct? Like if you're walking on the streets, they'll be like, sir, buy this, buy this. And people will come and it's like you just have to ignore them. And it's like 95% of the time they will leave you. It is like that. And some 5% they will pass some comment on you. Oh, it happened. It happened with some. Oh yeah, I should tell you this. We were in Honduras, Roatan, and like okay, I don't know if I should share this on this or not, but it's like we were just walking. So it's like an island, and it's like it was in the evening, and we had our dinner, and it was nice beach. So we are just walking along the beach, and then this guy comes, and he's the local guy, and he's like, "Do you want weed?" I told no, I don't want weed, karke. I told him. Then he asked me, "Where are you from?" And he's like, I told him I'm from India, karke. Then he's like, yeah, obviously you're from India. I'm like, what? It's like, so such type of situations happen with you. It is like that. And that time he's trying to aggravate you. It's like that he wants to have discussions with you or he wants to make you angry. But then it's like, she is like, what did she speak? I'm like, it's okay, just ignore. Because some,
Try to move away from
yeah,
that
just try to move away
situation.
from the situation. And I would say 90% of the time, nobody follows you. It's like, or to be honest, like we have not heard stories also from somebody where it's like somebody has tried to follow somebody and it's like take them to an alley. But sometimes, like at the same time, we have had like we met a traveler. It's like who lost his passport in like Colombia, but that was really scary for me. I mean, if that had happened for us, it was just like our bags got stolen. Somebody stole our bag. But for him, to it's like he was riding a bike. Two people came on bike. They pointed gun at him, and it's like give me whatever is there. And it's like they took passport also with him.
Yeah. We told that just leave this passport. Then they were like, no, everything.
Everything. So it was
Everything.
like that is now really scary, but it happens a lot, to be honest, in Central America. But we didn't hear, to be honest, lot of stories where I think somebody is following you, because generally whenever you are traveling all these countries, I would say like they are very tourist friendly. So at least if you're in the tourist hotspots, not a lot of things like this happen, because there are always, I would say there are more tourists than locals. So it's like there is always tourists. So, okay, even though we both are walking, but it's like on the street, like there are still way more tourists. It is like that, no, who are not trying to steal you. But general rule of thumb is it's like I would say all locals are nice. I would say,
Yeah.
I mean, I would say 99% of the people are nice. There is always 1% of the people who will be like that, and it's difficult to differentiate. It's like sometimes, at least I feel like after traveling so much, if you don't feel confident talking to somebody, just don't talk. And if you ignore 99% of the time, they will not like try to do anything with you. Like, just to tell you an example, when we lost our passports, it's like that. So it was like, it was really scary because for us. And then it's like, we put it on a Facebook page of that local town in Costa Rica. And then there's so many people, they don't even know us. They offered us stay, they offered us food. They are like, you come and stay in our home for free. This should not happen in Costa Rica. So just because somebody stole our bags in Costa Rica doesn't make that entire Costa Rica is bad. It's like that because there were 99% of the people who were so caring for us, and they were like offering us stay. I don't think so even in India somebody will do that, that okay, you have lost something, come and stay in our house, we'll give you food for as long as you want or something like that. And like when we used to walk also in that town, it's like there was this lady, it's like we met her I think 3 4 times, and maybe she was part of that Facebook group, so she always used to ask us like, did you get your passport, did you get your passport, like so concerning. So it's like 99% of the time people are nice. I mean, but I mean, now I'll put another, I don't know if it's controversial point or not, but I feel in India, it's more, we are a lot more negative about things. It's like when we want to send our kids also outside, like to buy milk or something like, oh, how can he cross road? Somebody will come and do accident. That will happen like one in million. So I feel a lot of fear is being provided, I would say, into the brains of our young generation that, okay, don't walk on the road. Okay, we don't have footpaths, I understand. But if he or she is careful, he can still cross the road. It's like that. And it's like, so I will, okay, one accident might happen. I'm not saying, of course, many accidents have, but it's like one in a million. So it's like we have a lot of negative things, I feel, always surrounding us, which at least that has opened our mind. At least that, no, I'm not going to be like that. Like when I'm back in India now, it's like I'm going to do whatever like we want. Like after 3.5 months, we never thought that from our where we live in Bangalore, there'll be a public transportation. But I'm like, no, let me try now. In my 3 years, I have never tried. But let me, and then when I went there, I felt it's so easy. So it's like when you try, it's like I feel things become very easy. But if you don't try and just sit at home and it's like, oh no, it is like that, it is like that. I feel then when things creep into our minds, I feel that is one change. At least I would want a lot of Indians to incorporate that all countries are nice. It's like that. You need to go and experience your things. It's like that. Just because somebody is saying, oh, Kuala Lumpur, he got stolen, doesn't mean that everybody will get stolen in Kuala Lumpur or something like that. I mean, it's not possible, correct? That so it's about make your own, I would say, perspective. It's like that. Give some experience, then make your own perspective, I would say, about everything.
Yeah, I think
That is
until and
true.
unless you're personally experienced, I think it is very wrong to tag something as this is wrong, this is
Mhm.
incorrect, this is dangerous. So that's our opinion.
That's what that fear factor is there. No, like that's why it's like even I am that kind also. I was that kind, and it's like I think I'm still that kind of person, like who doesn't want to take risk. It's like that it's like, oh no, I'm working in a good software company, I'm earning. It's like that, but this to do this was like a big leap of faith for us. Then no, we want to try something. Like still when we did it, like for the first 30 days, it was like really scary for us. Like what will we do if we go back, if we don't get job, if we don't do it this, because it's really scary because we have saved some money. If we spend all that money and when we go back and we don't have anything, so it's like I wanted that risk to go from my head that okay, I am ready to take risk. Whatever. If it's zero, I'm ready to even work in a McDonald's, or even I'm ready to do as a Swiggy driver, and I'm ready to do it. I will not keep on cribbing about things that oh no, it will not work. I am not getting a job or something like that. So that I feel that risk factor is way more, I would say, in the West side at least, like at least in Europe and US, like they are ready to take as much risk in their studies also, or in their like education or in their sports also. They are willing to go that X factor ahead, which I feel it's always like very restricted in a country like India. Of course, we are not a rich nation also to be like their parents are maybe supporting them. We are not so much like our families sometimes are dependent on the people who are working, and we have our complications, but it's like I feel that should not be the reason that we don't take enough risk. It's like that
Mm,
there are so many people in our industry, like software industry only, who might be good at so many things. Like some might be good at trekking, some might be good at like vlogging, or some might be good at anything. It's like, but they never want to take that risk and try something. It is like that because they are like, no yeah, I'm earning, no, this is enough for me. It's like that content thing, I feel somehow for us also that was the major thing, that okay, shall we work for 10 more years and then completely retire and travel, or it's like let us do that step now. So that risk is something what's which that was also a big factor for us, that whether we want to do it or not. It's like that because when you come home and then you don't have anything in your left money left, and then it's like okay, you don't get a job, and then everything
mm.
you feel will fall around. But it's okay, something will work out at the end. That's what we have realized. At the end of the day, there is always a way. It's like that, so you will have to figure it out what is your
Ah,
way.
absolutely true. And I think also strongly on the same point, right? So our sense of safety is very, very, very strong. So our space is how do I stay safe in whatever place I am, and trusting people and trusting different aspects come very slow for us. It may not be a easy thing for us to say trusting of our own self. I think trusting
Mm,
others is another aspect. We trust first of all,
mm,
don't trust others, and then we possibly tend to trust ourselves the least. So my work as a coach works on many of those aspects of how do you trust yourself. And I've seen people across the age spectra, possibly across even the country, right? So they tend to trust their skill more than they tend to trust their own instincts. So skill is something that you can always acquire at any place. So their
mm.
aspect is on something that's acquired than something that's inborn and innate. So that's something that I've very, very strongly seen in people across the space. And you also said my initial question was also about it because it's not easy to
Yeah.
leave status quo of saying, "Oh, I have a good
Mm,
company, I have salary and stuff like that coming along." And for 10 years is already a set expectation, a set standard. Everybody is looking at you saying, "Ah, okay, this next, that next, car mila, gadi mila." You know the transition, right? So you know the transition.
yes.
So suddenly to say, oh, Apurva and Vikesh are going on a trip. So our trip, Delta would be of 15 days. But then if you're going for
Mm,
a year and going to multiple countries, people are like,
mm,
what's happening with these guys?
mm.
So that is
Yeah.
going to be a space as well. But maybe Apurva and Vikesh, one last question for at least for this episode. What has changed when it comes to your aspect of looking at time? Because 15 or 7 months with so much experiences on a daily basis and not having to answer to your manager, not having to go to a stand-up meeting, not having to go to look at saying what Jira ticket do you have to finish today. So how has your concept of time changed?
Okay.
I
So
think we will answer this individually because I think even though we are traveling together, I would say like the experience of how we are looking at things now is little bit different, like how she is looking at things and how for me I am looking at things. But I think she'll go ahead first.
yeah, so when we left the job and then started to travel, it was not easy for us to, come from working to all time traveling and just enjoying. It was good for 5 days, but after that, it was something was really different. It was a battle with your own self, with your own thoughts. Every day, it is a battle of your own, but when you're traveling and you have given up something has which has become your routine for 10 years, and you have lived your entire schooling and then college life for that life, and then you give up that, somewhere you start worrying that okay, what am I doing? Are we just fooling around ourselves? Are we just doing this for the sake of doing? All those thoughts had come in our mind, and to get adjusted to just pack every day and then travel and then look at new places, plan every day. It took us a good 2 months of time to get used to it. But although it took us time to adjust to the traveling, I still felt like it was difficult to fall asleep in the night because I've not used my brain enough as much as I would use on a day to day basis for the past 10 years. So that was definitely a challenge and still a challenge for me on the days where I am not tired enough mentally and physically to fall asleep. And then every month you are traveling in different time zones. You have to adapt to those time zone. You have to adapt to those food and then weather. One day you are in rainforest and the other day you are in a beach and the other day you are hiking somewhere in the 4000 meter altitude. So your body also goes through a lot of changes. And as a woman, it's definitely not easy for me to have my thoughts shut down. So it's been quite a challenge and still a learning phase, I would say. I would say I have not mastered it yet. But I like this. I like my thoughts questioning me and then me finding the answers and me finding it okay to be what it is rather than just following what the world says this is the best.
So for me, I would say it's like I think time is one thing which will not come again. Like I was always skeptical. I used to always tell her before taking this trip, like let's work for 5 years or 10 years more. Let's save more money and then completely retire and start traveling. But then we decided no, we'll take the lead. Okay, let's do it now. And then now I realize that time is one thing which will not come again. Because when you travel in your 30s, your experience is very different. When you travel in your 40s, your experience is very different. Like some things which we are able to do now, of course you can be physically, mentally as much fit, but there are some restrictions which will always come when you will not be able to do something when you are at the age of 50, when you are at the age of 60, correct? So I feel whatever anybody wants to do in life, I mean it can be traveling, it can be anything, your passion. I mean my thing is the time is right now. There is no, don't wait like okay, I will do like after 5 years when I get settled or when I have a kid or when I have a car or when I have my house. Don't do it. The time is right now. So for me, that's the biggest learning is whatever anybody has to do, it is right now. It's like that. There is, if you think that you will be able to do something after 5 years, you will never do that thing. It's like that. So, and I feel like time is very valuable. And it's like, as you told, like, just like we used to feel so free. Like we used to wake up in the morning and it's like, I don't have to open my laptop. And it's like, I don't have to do anything. Otherwise, before our routine used to be like, we wake up, we used to go to office at 8, we used to prepare breakfast, we used to prepare lunch, wake up at 6, prepare everything, pack lunch, have breakfast, and then go to office. And it's like, oh, come back. We didn't used to get time. And it's like, okay, breakfast, okay, today this is not there, let's adjust with this. Now it's nothing like that. It's like we wake up at 6, we can do exercise, we can do meditation, what we can discuss what we want to eat, and then cook, like have that leisure time for yourself. Correct? It's completely like when you say you free your mind. So it's like I think this is one thing, like we have freed up our mind from these boundaries and these routines. And at least I would suggest everybody to try it once. It's like whatever you want to do, at least try it for a month or 2 months. Maybe take a break. Of course, you should be financially stable for that. But take a 2 months and 3 months break and try to do what you want to do and see how you feel about it. It's like because we meet a lot of people in our profession also, or like in our friend circle or somewhere. It's like, oh, I don't like my job. My job is like this. My job is like this. Take a break, see what you want to do. They are good at so many things. It's like that somebody might be good at singing music, some playing some instrument, but they don't want to give that time because they are always afraid of taking that break and coming back. So it's like, I mean, I would suggest everybody maybe not to take an year. Maybe for an year you need a lot of financial stability, but it's like take it for at least a month and 2 months and see how you feel about it. It is like that because I mean, money is not everything. That is one thing for sure. We have also realized now. It's like money is not everything. You can have the richest things in your life because when you cannot be happy. It's like that. You can own like a $1 billion, $1 million house also, and you can be unhappy sitting in that house. So that is like a big no for us now. It's like before we used to run little bit about, okay, let's work little bit more, even if let's ask for some good hike or something. But now that has completely changed our mindset. Like now we really want, if we go back to our work also, we really don't mind, but we really don't want to work more now. For us, it's like we want to work only. We are not going to work after 9 to 6. It's okay. We want to have our personal time because we have realized how important that is now. Because due to that only, we had to take this trip. It was like that okay, we were not getting personal time, but that is like a big no now. Even if the salaries are 20%, 25% less, it's completely okay for us now. So that mindset has also changed for us now. Previously, I don't think so. Before taking this break, I had this mindset at all. And like the time is now. There is no other time. That's the basic concept now.
No, that's absolutely true because I've also jumped off the wagon quite quickly in terms of this. So I had my first sabbatical at 2018. So
Mm.
I know for sure that the aspect of time suddenly becomes a lot more availability. You're looking at money is not everything. You're trying to also build on your strengths as an individual, and then take it as it comes. Trusting yourself, trusting the process in the interim. So a lot of such changes definitely happen, and so I am also a plus one on saying as taking a sabbatical. It could be for
Mm.
travel, it could be for some interest that you're trying to pursue, could be for anything. And if you're good enough to be a part of the system once, a 1 year break is not going to make you bad enough to come back to the system again. So
Right.
Yeah,
your
no.
skills will remain, yeah. So and in that 1 year, life will change a lot for you to really look at it. And that was, I think, the precursor to me to say enough at the end of 8 years in corporate. Say I'm done with this. I'm out of here. I'm not anyway soon and never again coming back to a corporate structure of a 9 to 5 or a 5 to 9 kind of a thing. So that was something that changed for me as an individual, also through a break and through a sabbatical.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Mm.
I think we're about a 90-minute mark from when we started. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but both your tumblers have completed their water fillings.
Yeah. It has.
Uh, I want to just I think there are a lot of episodes. We can always come back for another episode to say how Ursulas are doing, or what was your experience in Guatemala, and maybe look at each city in itself for a long format of time. And maybe do it as and when you find time, as and when you come back to India and see how this goes. I think that's something we can also look forward to. But I think for today, it's a good place for us to pass episode one with you. All right. So thank you again. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your sharing those experiences. And I think the energy graph slowly went up to saying, okay, where is this conversation going? And to also point out saying you had so much to share with whatever you have experienced over the 7 months. And I think a 1.5 hour podcast is very less to say, okay, what's the gravity of all that you experienced. So I am hoping you will be back with more interesting aspects and more interesting stories. The podcast is always open for you to say, share something individually, collectively, and as well. And if you find other people in your journeys who want to be on the show and share their travel experience, I am happy to have them along. But for
Sure,
today and
sure.
today's time, very, very big thanks to both of you and keep doing this again and again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sunil, for
We
your time also.
Yeah, we want to like convey our heartfelt thanks to you and also all of the people who are encouraging in making this possible as well. This is very niche category and then not often seen in and around the work culture that we come from. So it's really nice, and there are a lot of ways that we also find inspiration from lot of space. And I wanted to mention this one thing. Vikesh is very much inspired by one post that you made on how your life changed by taking cold showers.
Mhm.
And from that time, he is taking cold shower everywhere where he can, except for some treks where he really need hot
I
shower.
understand.
So
That is
always
fantastic.
find.
That is absolutely amazing. Yeah. So again, reiterating that sometimes one post can change some of
Yes.
those things. So today, I think yesterday
Mm,
was like my reiteration of like 2 months of cold water showers. So I
Mm.
peak winter, I don't take it up. I at least like after mom has completed her bathing, there's that leftover heat there in the
yeah.
water, so I take it that. But otherwise, it's still almost zero geyser from my end, almost unless I'm really tired and I really need it. That's the only
Mm,
time that goes. But thanks, Vikesh. You made me smile once again with this one saying there is always
yeah.
space for small things make a large difference.
Yes.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways you keep inspiring us, and it was a great pleasure being here and then talking with you. Hope we have we have impacted,
Absolutely.
the viewers, and we see
We
lot
will
of
not know. We will
backpackers.
not know who we have impacted unless somebody 2 or 3 years down the line said, "Oh, we saw your podcast and we started to do it."
That will be so good.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Absolutely, man, absolutely. And that was also part of my whole agenda to give you that space to put yourself out there. And we don't know who's listening, who's seeing, and who wants to be inspired at this, because you become the channel for that inspiration and take it from there.
Yeah, yeah, right.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much, and keep doing good work, Sunil. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hope to
Thank
see
you
you
as
again
well.
soon.
Absolutely soon. And yeah, so get a souvenir from me from wherever that you.
For sure.
We know what
Absolutely.
you like. We know your genre. We'll pick something that suits you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you then.